Hey guys, happy Saturday to everybody. I wanted to pop in because I haven't been on in a bit. So I figured now is a good time just to come on and say hello, do a little chit chatting with you guys. Here's little Monroe. She's hanging out in her Bloom seat. I'm still loving her in this. It's my favorite place to put her right now, obviously, because you guys see her in it in almost every video. So my apologies, but I'm really enjoying her in it. I like how it positions her. It's very sweet, and yeah, thoroughly enjoying her in it. So voila, there she is again. She is wearing a different sleeper, of course, because I did change her last night into this little organic sleeper. I don't even know the brand. I think I got it from Spearmint Love, but it's not the Spearmint Love brand. Yeah. Sorry, can't help you out with that, but it's a beautiful little dusty rose, light dusty rose color, and it's just a really pretty pale shade of pink, and it looks sweet on her, and it's so soft, and it fits her like a glove, which as you can see there, it's very stretchy and soft, so it's definitely really well fitted, and I wouldn't want it any tighter. I wouldn't want it any more loose on her. But and she's got a little matching bow in her hair, which is just perfectly matching as well. So we're just hanging out on this Saturday. We woke up to snow. Well, it was snowing last night, and it snowed overnight. Luckily, the sun has been out for a brief period of time this morning and has melted pretty much most of it off. And I'm hoping that will be the end of the snow for us this season. Like, it's just been ridiculous. Earlier this week, I want to say Wednesday we woke up with 3 inches of snow. All of the trees were covered. It was ridiculous. It was so depressing, and to be honest, it really pissed me off. It affected my mood for the whole dang day. And everybody else I know in my area really found it to be quite irritating. But it is what it is, and it's not unusual for upstate New York to get some snow even towards the middle and end of April. In fact, my oldest daughter, who is actually, it's her birthday today, she's turning 23 years old. So today on her birthday, 23 years ago when she was born, we had a snowstorm. So it's common, it happens. It doesn't mean I like it, but I know that the weather is definitely does its own thing. Mother Nature has a mind of her own, and I know there's lots of severe storms elsewhere across the Midwest, and I really shouldn't complain because there are tornadoes all over the place out there. So my thoughts and prayers are with all of the people affected by that. So I really shouldn't complain that we're getting a little bit of snow. So I'm trying to take it in stride. But this whole quarantine would be a lot more easy to take if we could be outside, if the sun was out on a regular basis, because when it's this cold, it's really hard to want to be outside at all. And, I like to be outside and need to be outside. So as soon as the sun is out for any period of time and it starts to warm up, which it should soon, then I'll start to feel like this isn't so horrible being stuck home. It just makes it easier to deal with. I think that for most of us, if we can be outside and it's sunny and it's nice, it really helps, how things are going. Anyways, so I was just watching Christina's Reborn's video about Reborn that just sold for, I think, just shy of $12,000. And that is quite groundbreaking. I mean, she had asked if there had been any other Reborns that anybody had heard of selling for around that price. And I can tell you that over the years, I've seen some up and around the $10,000 mark, $9,000 mark, but I don't think any have sold for this high a price. And I could be wrong because I don't always follow eBay, but I do recall a handful going for close to that price, but not quite that high. And she shared the baby. It was beautifully, beautifully done. Let me tell you, I was impressed. Normally, when there have been some higher priced Reborns, I'm not always wowed by them, and sometimes it's quite baffling to me how they got to be at that high a price. And maybe it's because I scrutinize pictures and I find flaws. And I do that with any doll that, like, any Reborn I've ever bought. I would literally scrutinize, blow up the pictures, look at them as close as possible to see if it's truly as nice as it seems in the pictures. But this one seems literally like this artist. I've followed this artist's work for a number of years, and she's amazing. Her dolls for quite a long time have always been quite beautiful. This one, however, literally looks like a living newborn. You would never know in the pictures that it is a reborn doll. Like, no way, shape, or form in any of the poses, any of the pictures. Even with the belly plate, she's done such a beautiful job with the way she's posed the doll, because that's usually the telltale sign, right? Like, if you're like me, if you're the type of collector that really scrutinizes and analyzes pictures of dolls before you buy them, especially on eBay, it's the unnaturalness of some of the poses that a lot of artists put dolls into because they think it's cute, or I don't know why. But that's usually the telltale sign, and that's when you start to see, like, the edges of, like, the belly plate and things like that just don't look natural, and is, you know, the dead giveaway that it's a doll. These, however, I was highly impressed by the way that the photography was done on this doll, and let me tell you, it's hard to pose a doll in a way that doesn't look like a doll. Like, for as long as I've been collecting, I've always tried to figure out mastering all of the beautiful poses and get it caught in a picture. It's hard. Posing dolls is a skill. Posing dolls to look like they are natural and alive is a really hard skill. Like, there are a lot of people that just struggle. I'm one of them. I struggle terribly to get great poses. I always have. That's why I've always said, like, in my videos and in pictures when I used to post them on DollFan, I would say, you know, my pictures aren't doing this doll justice, and I would try everything that I knew, but I'm not a photographer. It's not like I've ever been able or picked up the knack for it. You know, I struggle with good angles when I'm videoing all the time, coloring being right. So there are so many things, lighting, the way, the angle of the camera, the angle of the doll that you're taking the picture. Like, there are so many working, moving parts to get it right. And I believe that this artist has mastered how to do, like, what a newborn photo shoot would look like, and it's a doll, and you would never know. So that I found super intriguing. I thought it was amazing. One of the best photo shoots I've seen for any doll auction. And I have said this to my friends numerous times, that there are a lot of times that pictures are nicer than the doll itself when you get them. So we all go, wow, I hope that, you know, this doll is as great in person as it is in the photos. And based on the photos, you know, this doll's got to be magnificent in person. Like, the way the rooting is, I mean, if you blow the picture up and look really closely at the pictures, like I do all the time, this doll's really well made. The doll's well painted. The way the rooting of the head of hair is, like, it's just beautiful. Very beautiful. So whoever adopted and is bringing home that baby and won that auction, congratulations to you out there, because I'm sure you're going to be one lucky mommy. And I don't normally say that about auctions like this. I'm usually kind of on the fence whether or not it was really worth the money, but this doll looks really amazing. So I'm really happy for the artist. And yeah, it just opens up that discussion, though, that, you know, sometimes artists are really good at taking pictures, and then sometimes you get the doll and they're not as nice in pictures. I've learned to be able to blow up and really fine-tune how I see the doll in pictures to try to find flaws or things that may look like they're altered in the picture. But a lot of collectors aren't that savvy and don't know how to do that, or they don't have the technology in which to do that, like specific computers that don't blow up pictures and things like that, and really, you know, people aren't able to scrutinize them. So it's definitely happened to me. I've definitely had a number of times where the pictures were far better than the doll itself when I received it. And I think that happens to probably maybe all of us at one point in time in our collecting, that you fell in love with the pictures. And I'll tell you what, and this is going to sound really silly, but the outfits that the dolls put in to pose them also makes a difference on how, like, how badly I would want the doll. Like, if the doll's posed in different outfits that aren't super flattering, or the colors are off, or the skin tones, or I just don't like something about like what the artist has posed the doll in. I don't know. It's very weird because I'm OCD and I'm really weird about how things look. It'll totally turn me off. So I'm really like that picky. It's become part of how I am as a collector. And so I've learned to really like talk myself out of many doll purchases over the years because I didn't like something about, the doll in the picture. And it made me pick up on something else on the doll that I didn't like. And I've come to the terms of understanding myself as a collector that if I find something that bothers me immediately about the doll, whether it's something about the sculpt or something about the painting or how the doll was reborn, I know that I won't be happy with the doll long term. It's really that simple for me. So if I don't see anything and I can go through all the pictures with a fine-tooth comb and I don't find anything that bothers me immediately, then it's a good chance that I'll really like the doll. But I've just learned over the years that usually if I spot something in a picture prior to buying the doll, as soon as the doll arrives, it instantly starts to bother me and it doesn't go away. So it's me as a collector, because my standards are so very high at this point in time that I really have to find no flaws or things that may bother me in order to invest money in a doll. And I know that sounds extreme, but I've had a lot of dolls in my collecting years. I've experienced a lot of things I don't like, so I'm pretty particular, and I know what I like, so I know what to spot that I know will bother me so that I avoid those things. And that's kind of part of the journey of being a collector over many years. You learn what you like, you learn what you don't like. Sometimes you're surprised because you end up liking something you didn't think you would like. But that's more rare. It's more common for me to find something I really just don't like about a doll and then they move on. That's why I haven't kept 1,000 dolls over the years. But it's also kept my collection at a very, very nice small number. As of I've got 3 babies in this nursery right now, and that's little Eloise, little Monroe, and Amy Webb, who is behind me. So it's kept me happy. It's kept my nursery not overflowing with dolls, of course, and that's what I like. But it took me a long time to get to that point. So, looking at pictures in auctions, especially auctions on eBay where the price is going to go up a bit because it's an auction, is just really scrutinize the picture. Look at the doll as close as you possibly can. And if you don't see pictures that show every detail of the doll, like the little fingernails up close, the toes up close, the face up close, the ears, all of those things up close with really good detailed pictures, don't be afraid to ask for them, because sometimes artists leave certain pictures out that may show something they're not, 100% loving about the doll. So I'm always a firm believer of asking for more pictures if there aren't enough in a website or on an eBay auction or on Etsy, or even if it's a private collector with a doll for sale on Facebook or wherever. And I'm just a big fan of making sure that I get enough pictures that I feel comfortable that I've seen all of the doll. So, and then hopefully the doll is as beautiful as the pictures were when you saw it. So, and sometimes it's quite opposite. A friend of mine and I were just talking about this, is that, for years and years and years, I kept saying to people, long before Claire was super, super popular, I'd been buying her dolls for a long time. And I would show them and people would be like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't see what the draw is. I just don't, it doesn't click with me. And I would keep saying every new doll that I got and did details and things like that, I'd make a video and I'd be like, listen, Claire's work does not come across as well in video and in pictures as it does in person. So the realisticness and the realism is so 100% there when you see them face to face, even more so than you see them in video and in pictures. Like, Monroe looks very lifelike in video. She comes across very, very well. She also comes across even better in person, if you can imagine. And she just looks so lifelike. And Claire's just gotten better and better with that. But for many years, her work did not get the recognition because she wasn't the best photographer. I don't think Claire is the best at photographing her dolls. I'm also, you know, I'm a believer that she was also the best kept secret in the silicone doll world for a long time because she wasn't the best photographer, and her videos didn't do her dolls justice. And a lot of us collectors, it was the same thing. Our videos didn't do the doll justice, and so we were able to enjoy them for a really long time before she really blew up and people started really seeing how beautiful her dolls were. And they were very much underappreciated for a long time due to the fact that perhaps the artist wasn't as good as other silicone artists at photographing and videoing the dolls in the best light, and that makes a difference. And all I can say is that as beautiful as this baby is in person or in video, like, I'm so 100% more pleasantly surprised at how more realistic and more beautiful she is in person and just alive looking. It's crazy to me. Like, just as I sit here and look at her through my camera and then look at her outside of the frame in person, and it's just like the lifelikeliness is crazy. It's crazy, which, you know, anybody that is introduced to Monroe is quite wowed because it's hard to believe that she's not breathing and cooing and kicking her legs, and it's crazy to me. So that's kind of the tricks of the trade, guys, is, you know, sometimes good photography is played up and the doll isn't as nice as the pictures, and then other times you see pictures that you're kind of like, I don't love the doll, and then you get the doll and you're like, holy crap, like that totally didn't come across in the pictures, and oh my god, I got so lucky. That's how I've stumbled upon a lot of artists' work. It's just that they're not great photographers. It's a skill. Photography is a skill, 100%. I firmly believe that. And for some of us, we've been able to achieve taking great pictures and doing really great videos. Me, I struggle with it. I'm more than 20 years in, guys, and I'm still struggling with it. It's just not a knack that I have. Maybe I should take a photography class or something. Maybe that would be cool. But pictures is not my strong point. I've accepted this in my life at this point, in my collecting, that I'm not going to do the doll justice. I just never have been able to. So, but anyways, I just wanted to chat about that. Pictures versus the doll in real life. You know, there's such a range, guys. There's such a range, and you should always, always, always keep that in mind when you're buying dolls. And, you know, if someone's willing to take extra pictures in different lighting, also very helpful, because different lighting does affect how the doll looks as well. So just my thoughts on that. I'm really pleased for the artist that did this groundbreaking pricing. This auction price is great. It's crazy to me. But congratulations to her. So if you have not heard about this, I will leave in the description box, because I can't remember all the details of the auction, but I'll leave Christina's video link below as well. So she actually goes straight to the page, the auction page, and shows pictures and shows everything in detail. So I will link her video below so you guys can check that out as well. So anyways, guys, ooh, the sun just came back out. Look at that. It's trying so hard. Spring is trying to get here and stay here. But I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. I'll probably change Eloise at some point. Just not sure if it'll be today. But I hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday in quarantine, yet another weekend. Stay safe out there, guys, and we will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.